All right, today's episode might get me in trouble. But if we're going to have conversations about respect, culture, music, and accountability, then we gotta talk about the stuff people whisper about, but never say out loud. And let me ask a real question. Why do so many black female artists say they want respect, but their marketing plan looks like a strip club flyer? Now wait, there's more. At the same damn time, why are so many black male artists building entire careers calling black women everything but their name? Okay, hear me out. Today, we're not picking sides. We're picking the truth. Because here's the uncomfortable reality. We got women saying, respect me. And we got men saying, shake something. And somehow the culture claps for both. And that ain't balance. That's confusion. So today on Inside the Logic, we gonna talk about it. Y'all ready? All right. First thing we gotta understand is this. Music today isn't just music. It's attention economics. And attention in 2026 moves fast. And fast means the louder the image, the quicker the clicks. And the quickest click is, you guessed it, sex. Always has been and always will be, unfortunately. See, sex sells music. Sex sells movies. Sex sells shampoo. But here's where the conversation gets a little uncomfortable. See, some black female artists are basically being marketed like luxury cars with the hood open. Now look, don't hate the messenger, just understand the message. Now ladies, there is nothing wrong with confidence, nothing wrong with sexuality, and nothing wrong with a woman feeling powerful in her body. But there's a difference between owning your body and renting it to the algorithms. Yeah, because some of these music videos look less like art and more like an Instagram thirst trap with a beat behind it. You don't see it? Okay, let me give you an analogy. If a restaurant tells people, we serve the finest steak in the city, but the entire commercial is just pictures of the waitress's body, eventually people stop asking about the steak. They're just coming for the view. Y'all agree? Let me know. And, that's not empowerment. That's just top shelf marketing strategy. And the industry knows exactly what it's doing because controversy sells faster than talent. And we've all played witness to that. Then the uncomfortable question becomes, are these artists expressing themselves or are they following the blueprint that sells fastest? Because when every album drops looking like a lingerie catalog with a microphone, the message gets blurred. Now, if I'm lying, just tell me. And before somebody says, I'm picking on women, let's talk about the men. Because black male artists have done something just as destructive. They've built entire catalogs disrespecting the same women they claim to love. Just listen to some of these lyrics. Women are called bitches, hoes, disposable entertainment. And then those same artists go home to mothers, daughters, and sisters. Make it make sense. The contradiction is loud. You can't call women queens in interviews and then call them property on the track. You know, that's like preaching church on Sunday and selling devil merch on Monday. And yes, there's a lot of churches, well, pastors like that. But that's another episode. Now, music doesn't just entertain. It reflects the culture. And it begins to shape the culture. Now, if every popular song says women are objects, eventually people start treating them like objects. And if every visual presentation tells women their value lies below their waist and between their thighs, eventually that becomes the standard. Thus, we got a generation growing up believing respect is optional, but attention is mandatory. Now, here's the paradox nobody likes talking about. Some artists say, respect me for my talent. But the first introduction the world gets is beauty before bars. Imagine a lawyer walking into a courtroom wearing swimwear, then asking the judge to focus on their legal argument. Yes, they might be brilliant, but the presentation affects perception. And that's just human psychology. Again, confidence is not the problem. Expression is not the problem. But when marketing strategy is hypersexual first and talent second, the industry trains the audience what to focus on. Y'all hearing me? All right, let's be real about something, people. Record labels are businesses. They push what sells. And historically, sex sells faster than substance. So artists get told, show more, push the boundaries, go viral. And once that formula works, it becomes the brand. But here's the catch. Once you introduce yourself as a sexual image, it's hard to later demand to be treated with respect. And that's just my opinion. If you think differently, leave a comment. Now listen carefully. This conversation is not about blaming women, and it's not about blaming men. It's just about accountability. Men have to stop normalizing disrespect in lyrics or in life. Women have to recognize how hypersexual marketing can shape perception, also in life as well. And the audience has to stop rewarding the worst behavior with the biggest streams, because culture doesn't happen. Culture is created. So the real question becomes this: are we empowering artists, or are we empowering the shock value? Are we uplifting talent, or are we just clicking on controversy? Because if the loudest applause goes to chaos, don't be surprised when chaos becomes the headline. And let me end with this. Culture is like a mirror. It reflects what we celebrate. If we celebrate disrespect, disrespect multiplies. If we celebrate dignity, then dignity grows. So maybe the real question isn't why do artists do it? Maybe the real question is why do we reward it? Because every click, every stream, every viral moment is a vote. And culture always follows the votes. This is Inside the Logic, where we don't just talk about what's trending, we talk about what it means. Until the next time, peace.